I am Donika.
And I am Myra, and this is a Black Women Healing Podcast.
A space to discuss mental wellness.
A space to dive into soul care and vulnerability.
Here, we will support you on your journey as you focus on your healing,
while also giving you the work along the way.
Welcome to Black Women Healing Podcast.
Hey y'all, we're back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. Today, I wanted to kind of have a conversation on energy. And when I'm thinking of energy, I am thinking of it as a whole, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally. Just because I have been in a lot of conversation about coffee, right? Like a lot of my friends did a fast for the month of January. So they were doing like no alcohol and no coffee. And in my head, it automatically goes to like, so what are you doing for your energy, right? And so from there, I've been kind of challenging myself to think about, well, what do I actually do for my energy? Because I am a coffee drinker, but I feel that I need to challenge myself to explore other ways that I feel myself. And so, not saying I'm going to stop drinking my coffee, but something I've been trying to try out is being more mindful about my sleep. So making sure that I'm going to sleep at a consistent time and getting adequate amount of sleep and like comfortable sleep. And so when it comes to sleep, I've been really thinking about like, are my sheets comfortable? Do I have the right amount of pillows that feel good for me? How am I even like positioning my body? Like I found that having a pillow between my legs helps my body to relax a little bit more. And so trying to adjust how my sleeping actually looks and going to bed at a decent time, waking up at a decent time. And that has been helpful. In addition, I found that drinking coffee is kind of like a habit. And so drinking something different every day, still allowing myself to have coffee, like I said, but like I've mentioned in previous episodes, Magic Mind has been a good start to my day just because the formula tastes good and it does help with energy. And so I'm interested in making that more into a drink. Also been trying to, when I first get up, jumping into drinking like water is a habit I'm trying to start. So I've been trying to sit my water like on the counter where I wash my face and things, because my routine is get up, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. So instead going to the bathroom, drinking that water, looking myself in the mirror, saying some affirmations in my head, and that kind of being some fuel to start my day of just, again, what I'm putting into my body. And taking time before I even jump into eating, of making sure, like, do I feel like nourished as far as like water wise? And then I've also been taking some vitamins that I found to be helpful with my mood, as far as just like balancing things out and feeling good in that aspect. So challenging myself there. And I'm curious to hear what you all are doing as far as like physically tapping into what you need for your energy. Now, energetically wise and mental wise and emotional wise, I have been really mindful about telling the people around me what I need. Something I do not do. I feel like people do it with me. Like they tell me what they need. But it's something about like telling people what I need that not only allows me to relax in my emotions and what I have going on, but also to know that the people that I'm deciding to tell these things to are people that care. And so they're going to continuously check in, which feels for me like, okay, I'm being poured back into, which takes my energy back up to where I need it to be. And so that physical part, I'm starting to get down, right? That emotional part, I'm working at. Also, spiritually, as we've talked about with our book episode, devotionals have been really helpful for me. I've been diving into Ayana Van Zant's work a little bit more, because I feel like she just has some good gems, and I like to be able to read something different every day that kind of has like a theme and allows for me to think like, what does my intention need to be for today? Because I'm trying to lean away from goals and more into intention, because when I set an intention, I don't feel as pressured to ask myself like, are you getting this done? Are you getting this done? But if it's an intention, there's so many ways to get it done. Like, for example, my intention for the year is intentional joy. So checking in with myself of like, does this feel good for me? Versus my goals used to be something like, make sure you exercise 5 times out of the week. But if I don't do it, I'm upset with myself. But if I want intentional joy with my body, that looks different every day. I can wake up today and say, I feel like my joy for the day will be to go for a walk and smell the flowers or take a picture of something that stands out. That's probably one of my favorite things to do, actually. Or just to move my body, roll my shoulders, touch my toes. The intentions feel good versus setting out those goals and being that I am setting out an intention that has felt really good spiritually. And like I mentioned, like having something that pours into me with her devotionals, Ayana Von Zant, on point. I'm trying to think, what are other ways that that energy kind of exists in our lives? I think that energy from others, that's not something I really touched on, as far as just holistically like sharing energy with other people, being mindful of the energy that feels good, to engage in that a little bit more versus the energy that is depleting, being mindful of when I'm engaging in that. Definitely something to be working on. I think overall, I hadn't really thought about the ways in which we can be fueled and depleted. Like, I've had conversations about like self-care, of course. I mean, I'm a therapist, but to actually really think about how I'm fueled and depleted is something that's new. And I don't know how y'all are thinking about it, but I want y'all to hop on board with me and be thinking about, how am I actually being mindful of my energy? And it's inevitable that we are in spaces that deplete us. That's just the way of life. But how are we even making boundaries around that? And even boundaries around the things that fuel us, of like making sure that we are being fueled in that way. So I invite y'all to come with me on this journey of pouring into ourselves and on an energetic level, and just thinking about what energy means for you, what you need for it to look like, and how you just want it to exist in your life. Yeah. Something that's on my mind. What do I need? What do I need my energy to look like? And what do I need the energy around me to look like? Well, that's all I got today. I hope it was easy to digest. It's just something that's been on my mind and I just had to share it. So if I could set an intention for the month, it would be just, what would it be? That's a difficult one, because I was going to say consideration for my energy. No, there we go. That's actually what it's going to be. My intention for the month is consideration for my energy. That's all I got for this week's episode of Black Women Healing Podcast.